Kazakhstan established and developed relationships with more than 140 countries worldwide. The country is a member of over 60 international organizations. Kazakhstan is an open and friendly partner, the initiator of the various integration processes in the world community, always ready to create the conditions for global dialogue. The Pavlodar petrochemical plant will purchase hydrogen and steam from the Kazakh-French enterprise. This became known after the signing of the agreement in the French pavilion at Expo 2017 in Astana. The event was attended by the national company Kazakh, representatives of the French side, the ambassador of France to Kazakhstan, the general commissioner of the French pavilion, representatives of the Ministry of Energy of Kazakhstan, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Ministry for Investment and Development. The joint venture, with 75% of the French side and 25% of Kazakh, is the world leader in the production of industrial gases. These products, particularly hydrogen, are necessary to maintain an eco-balance in an urban environment with a large number of plants.
Водород – это самый необходимый продукт на всех НПЗ.
Hydrogen is the most necessary product at all refineries in the world to oversee the so-called hydrogen balance. What does hydrogen do? It's very simple. Hydrogen-containing gas is passed through the product. In our case, it is diesel kerosene gasoline, and it removes sulfur and nitrogen compounds from this product. That is, the hydrogen-containing gas will be sent from this installation to these 3 treatment plants, and the so-called hydrotreating process will occur.
Процесс гидроочистки будет происходить.
Preparatory work for the stage of signing the contract lasted about 2 years. The next stage is the construction of a new plant for the production of technical gases, which will last about a year and a half. Representatives of the Kazakh side argue that new capacities will appear in early 2019.
At
the moment, we are coping with our existing hydrogen plant. But in the future, when the processing volumes are increased, then hydrogen will be missed. This unit is designed for a capacity of 20,000 nanocubic meters of hydrogen per day. Therefore, the balance will fully cover the needs of the plant. As the representative of the joint venture said, their company operates around the world, and now the organization has a professional pool of specialists in this field from 80 countries. The company plans to transfer experience to Kazakhstani employees and to cultivate local personnel. The signing of the agreement is not the only occasion for a meeting of delegates at the Expo 2017 site.
I'm so happy we are here today under the beautiful sun of Astana in this wonderful expo. I visited the French pavilion, it's outstanding. And here today we are celebrating. We are celebrating the Day of France at the Expo, a success, in fact, which is a big step forward in the realization of our project with the POCR refinery, the outsourcing of hydrogen.
The French exposition, with the area of 1,000 square meters, is divided into thematic zones. It includes artificial heavy-duty concrete, waste processing technologies, renewable energy sources, as well as the largest international project of ITER, the construction of a thermonuclear reactor. The theme that we have chosen for our exposition, Sharing Knowledge, Saving the Planet, highlights our aspirations in the field of environmental protection and introduces progress in the implemented projects. Thus, the pavilion reveals the sub-themes Eco-City, Renewable Energy, and Ecological Transport. The French Embassy in Kazakhstan actively promotes the establishment of new business contacts and the continuation of existing ones. By their activities, representatives of the European country showcases the main message.
We want you to know that the French have innovative solutions in many ways. We just illustrated in politics that we can renew things in quite an imaginative fashion. But technologically speaking, economically speaking, and in terms of management, yes, we are imaginative, and this is a place and a time to say it. We want to offer imaginative solutions, and we want our partners, especially Kazakhstan.
The National Day of France, which became another symbolic occasion for the conclusion of the agreement, was an incredible event. On stage, the artist presented an unforgettable program with disguises and acrobatic numbers.
Petit chapeau que les mamans de nos mamans portaient à gauche en 1863 et que l'on porte en ce moment si crânement sur le côté droit.
The official ceremony on the occasion of the celebration of the National Day was made by the General Commissioner of the Exposition of France, Mr. Pascal Loro. The theme of the exhibition, Energy of the Future, is important for France as well as for Kazakhstan. France conducts many conferences on this subject, and as a result, the signing of the Paris Agreement in December 2015 took place. This document has a significant impact on the economy of our country. France gained tremendous opportunities due to the work of scientists, researchers, engineers in the field of energy and sustainable development. Representatives of the Kazakh Foreign Ministry also spoke. In the creative program, in addition to French artists, well-known Kazakh singer Tolkien Zabirova and as well as students of the Kazakh National University took part. During the Expo 2017, each participating country has its own national day, but international organizations, which also take part in the Astana Expo, do not remain aloof. On the scene of the National Day, a UN concert was held. After which, in a separate pavilion, the International Plaza, 9 agencies of the organization presented their projects, including the United Nations Development Programme, the United Nations Environment Programme, the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, and others. Disclosure of the Expo, Energy of the Future, the United Nations continued at the site of the 8th International Energy Forum, in the framework of the work session, Energy for Sustainable Development, in the Congress Center of Expo. The discussion touched upon such issues as financing renewable energy and ensuring its efficiency through the development of science, technology, and information.
And for the first time, we have a dedicated goal on energy, Sustainable Development Goal 7, SDG 7, to ensure access to affordable, reliable, and sustainable modern energy for all. Progress towards many of the other goals, including poverty eradication, women's empowerment, better health and education for children and everyone, clean water, food security, they all depend on the achievement of energy.
The session heard examples of the current situation of energy security in different countries. And despite the implementation of many projects, forecasts for general indicators set for further active work.
The United Nations recognizes that such a monumental shift requires scaling up action on all 3 targets: access, efficiency, and renewable. According to recent estimates by the World Bank and the International Energy Agency, projections show that at the current rate of progress, only 91% of the world will have electricity access in 2030, while only 72% will have access to clean cooking. Improvements in energy intensity are also projected to fall short of the 2030 goal, while the share of the renewables will only reach 21% by that time. These estimates underscore the need for urgent action.
The UN, as part of all international agencies, is actively implementing energy efficiency projects around the world, including in Kazakhstan. So only for the last 5 years of joint work, in public buildings of different regions of Kazakhstan, energy efficiency increased by 45%.
На текущий момент в Республике Казахстан имеется 50 действующих объектов.
At present, there are 50 operating facilities with a total capacity of 288 megawatts in the Republic of Kazakhstan. And it should be noted that investors' interest in implementing wind energy projects. In his speeches at the ministerial conference, the Minister of Energy spoke about Kazakhstan's ambitious goals to increase this amount by a few percent more. And I believe that today we have every reason. There is a legislative base, there are investors, there are our good friends with the UN and other organizations, by virtue of which we will probably exceed those targets that we have established for ourselves.
Благодаря которым мы, наверное, выполним те целевые показатели, которые мы для себя установили.
Stimulating the growth of the green economy is facilitated by a number of comprehensive measures that will give a positive result in the long run.
What is most important to know in these situations is also the possibility, in fact, this environment is creating for public-private partnerships. So we need governments to have the right policies and create an enabling environment for businesses to invest in renewables, to invest in energy efficiency, to make energy much more affordable, reliable and accessible. And when we see public and private working together, of course, certainly the results are so much better. A lot of, for example, last year's increase in solar energy use came from US and China. So very populous countries are responding, I think, to this demand.
The UN Commissioner General at Expo 2017 highly appreciated Kazakhstan's initiative in holding an international exposition on the theme of future energy. According to Ms. Cihan Sultanoğlu, the UN will continue to implement existing projects and launch new ones.
Today's UN dialogues, hopefully, will provide an opportunity to showcase some of the work carried out by the UN agencies. As the UN Commissioner for Expo 2017, I am once again very grateful to all the agencies who are present here today. I also thank the government of Kazakhstan and the Expo organizers for inviting the UN to be here and making this opportunity to pass our message across available to us.
Astana hosted the 30th meeting of the Foreign Investors Council with the participation of the President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, on the theme New Energy. As the head of state stressed, the council turns 19 this year. During this time, our meetings have already become a good tradition, and we have done a lot together. And you helped Kazakhstan a lot in establishing our economy, carrying out the reforms that we are aspired to implement. Our meetings have become an important platform for discussing the most pressing issues of economic development. The Council includes representatives of large foreign companies operating in our country. What is natural is that it is renewed from year to year. Before going to the agenda, I want to introduce new members of the Council. This is Mr. Liva Kargupka, Vice President of the Asian Development Bank for Private Sector Operations and Co-Financing. Mr. Naoya Iwashita, Senior Regional Executive Officer for Europe, Africa, CIS from Marubeni Corporation. Also, the composition of the Council of Investors joined the representatives of the Kazakh side. According to President Nursultan Nazarbayev, despite the large reserves of natural resources, Kazakhstan is actively developing alternative energy. And this proves not only the holding of the Expo on the subject of energy of the future, but also the heritage of the exposition itself. After its completion, the International Center for the Development of Green Technologies and Investment Projects, Energy of the Future, will be operating in the country on the basis of the exhibition infrastructure. The Ministry of Energy of the country plans to implement this project jointly with the agencies of the United Nations. The board reports from participants were presented at the Jubilee meeting.
Today's world is driven by a substantial and continued increase in electricity demand, and the future energy that can help meet this demand needs to be safe, reliable, and affordable. And it also must play a key role in avoiding greenhouse gas and air pollution issues. It's no secret that nuclear power can meet these requirements. Kazakhstan is now the world leader in uranium mining and processing of nuclear fuel, and the Inkai mine is now one of the finest uranium mines on the planet. President Nazarbayev, your commitment to the peaceful development and expansion of nuclear energy has made nuclear a key element of Kazakhstan's plan for a modern, diversified economy, supported by abundant resources and talented people.
The Council was established in 1998 to provide direct dialogue between the government and foreign investors in order to improve the country's investment climate. Within the framework of the Week of Education, representatives of Latvia on the site of their pavilion at Expo held a meeting with their Kazakh counterparts. Representatives of the Ministry of Education and Science of the Republic of Latvia and the Ministry of Education of Kazakhstan, the Center for Academic Information Study in Latvia, the Independent Kazakhstan Center for Quality Assurance of Education, as well as representatives of the largest universities of the two countries, gathered around the table to discuss further cooperation in this area between the two countries. In general, we believe that cooperation in the field of higher education with Latvia by the Baltic countries is very important, since we have gained some experience precisely in the framework of improving the quality of education for accreditation of higher education institutions. In 2017, quite a lot of interest was from the side of the universities of Kazakhstan, and about 7 students from the academic year 2017 will receive higher education in higher education institutions of Latvia. Currently, about 360 students are Kazakh students who already study at the universities of Latvia. It is known that Kazakhstan entered the top 5 countries with the largest number of foreign students in Latvia. During the meeting, Expo 2017 demonstrated the latest achievements in the field of higher education in Latvia and the results of the progress in the current bilateral cooperation of the Baltic country with Kazakhstan, in particular within the framework of the well-known scholarship program of the European Union. In fact, our university is the oldest. Therefore, it is possible to talk about cooperation for many years. Since the second cosmonaut of Kazakhstan, Talgat Musabayev, is our graduate of 1974, we actively cooperate with such universities as the Almaty Academy of Civil Aviation. From the academy, student groups of 4 to 5 people undergo academic mobility. They study for a whole semester at Riga University for 2 years now. The saturated program of the Week of Latvia's Education at the Expo was successful. Bilateral agreements were signed with 17 higher educational institutions of the Baltic country. They held meaningful meetings with leading educational institutions of Kazakhstan, as well as identified the main areas of joint work. We met with Nazarbayev University and representatives of Bolashak program. We spoke about international cooperation. What is Kazakhstan's interest in, and what are the interests of our local universities from Latvia? And together with Bolashak program representatives, at the meeting they presented us with a new program for double diplomas, in which they are interested in, and said that local universities would be interested too, in joint cooperation, which is also based on students' exchange and the double diploma programs. The concept of the exposition of the Republic of Latvia consists of presenting the country with the example of individual blocks. In total, until the end of the exhibition, for the next 12 weeks, transport and logistics, medicine, internet technologies, agriculture and others will be presented.